astrology Twitter, and this is your energetic reading for the eclipse season and dear Capricorn. Okay, I got the strangest reading for you. I do not know if I was tapping into an energy. I don't know what energy source I'm tapping into. So if this somewhat goes astray, I'm sure that it's definitely a message for somebody. I tried to generalize your reading as much as possible, but for some reason I felt very definitive about the message. And so I'm just going to give it to you the way that it spoke to me. I hope that it resonates with whomever it's supposed to. So I'm going to include both the solar and the lunar eclipse. I am going to be reading from this, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you're my house of others, and you guys are going to mirror where I'm deficient. And where I'm deficient right now is I am in a square. My rising is in a square. And I'm a Cancer-based energy. I'm a Leo on the cusp of Cancer, but all my primary degrees are in Cancer. So right now I'm being flooded with energy that is really, honestly, your ruler is squaring my energy. So it's not going to surprise me if I get some negative comments from you guys, because you guys are squaring my water-based energy. But there is something significant about this in the fact that the lunar eclipse is really speaking to cardinal energies between the degrees of 0 and 8. I just thought that I would clarify that if I don't forget it, because I always do. So, in a solar eclipse, the moon passes between the sun and the earth and prevents your sun from shining. That's the event itself. When the sun is in the new moon's shadow, the new moon's energetic power overrides your ability to shine in the house that it's emphasizing. This is why your sun undergoes this massive reboot. It's because you get starved a little bit from your sun. And then this new beginning, the clarity of the new beginning of the new moon comes in. And then there's just this sense that once your sun shines, it's like it clears all the energy and it aligns with this new beginning. And then suddenly there is just an extreme clarity in the beginning that you need to take moving forward. So Saturn is demanding accountability for many of you. I have no idea why I aligned with this energy. Please forgive me if it's offensive to anybody. Honest to God, I have no terrible opinions of Capricorns. I'm just telling you what I energetically connected with. There is a consequence that is plaguing your mind with guilt or perhaps remorse. You may have suppressed a thought that is rearing its ugly head in this energy that you need to release. Again, Piscean energy is where you suffer. It's guilt. It's incarceration. It's where you submit to the power of the universe. Karmic lessons are associated in this 12th house. Pisces is associated with the 12th house energy. And your ruler is deeply diving into the 12th house. So you may have suppressed a thought and that's rearing its ugly head. Perhaps this is due to a boundary that was crossed by either you or someone. And this could be something that you have repressed. This could be something that as the energy flows into you, and as this healing water-based energy, Chiron, flooding you with healing, it's trying to heal your wound. It may flush out some weird repressed memory that really honestly blows your mind that it's even in there. Like, okay, so I was deeply abused as a child. I actually didn't remember any of the abuse until I was probably in my 30s. And then when I was 30s, I started getting these horrible nightmares, and I had to talk to family in order to see if these were real or not, because literally my mind suppressed them to the degree it dammed them up, built a brick wall, built another wall, and I really had no memory of just anything. My mind had completely submerged them behind a wall of protection. So I feel like some of you may experience this revelation and this energy. All this water-based energy, Cancer energy, is opposite of Capricorn energy. So there's a sense of feeling vulnerable, which you're not normally used to feeling. Saturn is squaring off with the solar eclipse, and it's squaring off with all of the Piscean energy, and it's squaring Jupiter. And this is about mental expansion. This is about the way you think. These are thoughts. Something is repressed. Something you did not see is going to come out in this event. Perhaps in this energy, it could have had something to do with a sibling or a neighbor. It could have had somebody to do with somebody you went to school with. It could have somebody you went to college with. Somebody you tried to go and advance your life to create. Somebody that took advantage of the fact that you were trying to be opportunistic, and they were somebody that decided to use opportunity to have the power to make this impact on you in some way. You may feel tempted to try to get away with something again. For some of you that did do this, maybe some of you were the ones that did this. And you didn't have any accountability back then, so you may try to get away with it again. The deception worked once, why not do it again? Piscean energy squaring off with Mars can make it very pleasure-based. So for some of you that got away with it once, you may try to get away with it again. That's possible in this type of energy. So for some of you, this may have to do with the way that you used to communicate and are being judged for the pain it caused, or somebody may have said something to you, somebody that you looked up to, a mentor, somebody that maybe was a father figure, or somebody who was the authority figure in their house. The words they said deeply impacted you. I don't think you really understood how much they impacted you till right now. There's a power and an influence that this person had, and I want to say that it's a person that, again, and here's what I struggled with. It defined your ego, and I think that you feel superficially okay with it. But what I think you don't know is that there was an unintentional consequence that was associated with what happened to you when you were young or younger, or by somebody younger than you, or by somebody that was a mentor or older than you. I mean, there's an extreme to it, but there's a wound that it caused that I think that you haven't either fully acknowledged or suppressed completely. You, in this energy, may feel compelled to talk to a family member or a neighbor to see if there's any sort of clarification as to what you're feeling, somebody you once knew back then, somebody from your childhood possibly. For many of you, this may have to do with the way that you use to interpret your environment. So there could be a clarity in the fact that if something impacted you that molded and shaped you and really honestly worked your programming, then I think that what happens is when all this energy is sitting in the 9th house, I think what's happened is there's just an answer that comes to you, or some sort of knowledge, or some sort of information that gives you the clarity enough to walk away and to accept the healing of Chiron's energy. Whatever it is, this old wound needs to be flushed out from your thoughts. What's in the past is in the past, but it does need to be addressed and forgiven for this emotional dam to be released. This expansion of this issue is possible in the solar eclipse if you refuse to be accountable or hold somebody accountable for these deep wounds that it caused. So this is about conversations. This is about therapy, working through it. This is about the realization of the cost that somebody took your thoughts from you, your thoughts of stability, and caused deep emotional wounds that have been that they've been guiding you on the wrong path. You've been seeking your empty buckets and not seeking. Okay, so you were raised with an emptiness and you're trying to pour all of your life into filling up that empty bucket that was never there when you were younger. And you may be aligning yourself with the thoughts of emptiness as opposed to the thoughts of fullness, fulfillment, healing, progression, I think, for some of you. So there is an intensity with this energy that dredges up old wounds. A thought may suddenly make you hypercritical of a person. And although you try to control your thoughts regarding this issue, you can't seem to let go of it. There's just the realization squares you. The realization of the impact, the emotional impact that it caused, and the reason why you've been astray for so long. For you, this experience may have made you feel vulnerable when you were very young. You may be imprisoned by these memories that you can't seem to flush from your mind, and this water energy is healing you psychologically in an area that you silently suffer. Again, repressed memories, you don't even know you're suffering from them. You just are acting out in strange ways, and that's what hypnosis does, is it flushes out these unconscious realms. Piscean energy is all about the unconscious mind meeting the subconscious, the subconscious mind meeting the conscious awareness. This energy is about awareness. The ninth house is about awareness, awakening. It's about knowledge, supreme knowledge. It's about beliefs. It's about pursuing the answers to your questions about the big things. Why are we here? What is my purpose? What type of impact do I need? My program taught me this. I'm this. How do I merge those? That's what you're feeling in this energy. So Jupiter is expanding a crack so that you can face what you refuse to see. There is something that you may have suppressed so deep that flushed out in this event that defines so many of the limiting mindsets and releases you from where you get lost in your subconscious. Look up the word subconscious. It's a monumental, big word, and it explains so much of what makes human beings tick, especially if we were raised in environments where we were not fully and deeply appreciated, where our voices were limited, where people tried to control us, and so we ended up being a controlling creature, where fear is generated. All of that is going to expand and release in this energy as we go through the sun, and then we go through as we go through a solar eclipse, and then we go through a lunar eclipse. It's about expanding, seeing, and light being shed, and it's about aligning, and then it's about the release of that type of information. So where's the new beginning for you? Whatever happened in the past is preventing you from embracing the future. Your mind just can't seem to release what you you are at in the psychological prison. You have trapped energy that needs to be flushed out so that positive energy can replace the space that once prevented psychological expansion. Saturn is in Sagittarius and will be working with your ability to free yourself from feelings that you feel the need to control. So often what you do is you act out and you try to control others to prevent pain. You're all about preventing pain. The 12th house is the house of suffering. You have been living in a mindset. You have been dramatically impacted. You have PTSD from all of these Pluto-Uranus squares. No matter how much you tried to control your environment, there was a sense of lack of control. We are in mutable energy. That doesn't make anything better. In fact, all of this entire year is a mutable year. Our nodes are in mutable energy. That doesn't make you feel in control. Saturn, your ruler's in the mutable energy. So what this is teaching you is adaptability. It's teaching you that you don't have the control. The only illusion that is truly out there is the fact that we could control anything. Tomorrow, we could get in a car and get in a car accident, and our whole entire family could die, and we could be the only ones living. There is no controlling that. You can get the best car, you can make it as secure as possible, you can get airbags, but there's nothing controlling that fated, destined car ride that takes people home in the heavens. So a lunar eclipse for you. Now we switch gears. It goes from this feminine energy that's all about analyzing our psychology, and it's all about pulling back and taking time mentally and physically. Of course, for some of you that are really going through it, you're just going to feel tired. But then we go into a lunar eclipse that is it's an accumulative energy, but it's in Libra. And so for you, at the same moment that this is happening, the sun in Aries aligns with Mercury in Aries, which is a fellow cardinal-based energy. So this goes from the ending to it's the realization to, I want to take action and take care of things. I want to move away from, I'm done. Like you're not a victim. You survive constantly through Saturn's trying tests. Saturn is your ruler. It's the planet that rules limitations. So you're not about suffering for too freaking long before you take care of business. So this lunar eclipse, I'm going to give you a little profile of what a lunar eclipse is. A lunar eclipse is when the Earth blocks the sun, casting the shadow over the moon. This astrological event is significant because your sun's desire to shine will override your emotional vulnerabilities. It is for this reason that it is common for endings to occur during a lunar eclipse, because this is about the sun, your desire to shine, really honestly taking front row seat, and you are not about emotional suffering anymore. So the lunar eclipse in Libra will be combined with that powerful alignment that I was talking about. So that's your desire. And then you've got this emotional moon that's weighing out the pros and cons. And then you have the sun and the moon and Mercury aligning. So you have your desires aligning with what your mind desires, with this partnering energy, all in cardinal energy, which is an action-oriented energy. So what this does is it makes what you think about merge with what your heart desires on its most simplistic level. So Saturn is squaring all the Pisces energy during this lunar event. You will work through this eclipse season, but there is a lot of clearing out. There's a lot of clearing energy. There's a need to release this emotional dam. You know, I said this in the Scorpio request, that what I deeply feel for you is that there's been an emotional dam or a repressed thought that has been so dammed up that it is causing so much pressure on your dam that your dam is starting to crack. And so what you need to do is release the water pressure from the dam just enough to make the integrity of the dam stay solid. You know, a dam can only handle so much water pressure before the integrity of the dam, the materials that was used to build the dam, is really honestly in question. When they're talking about, you know, building a dam, they have to consider all of these things, and also the longevity of the material that they're using. What you did was dam everything up with wood that rotted, and the dam broke, and all of the energy pushed this repressed thought, this repressed memory, this issue out into the open, and now you're dealing and putting an end to that. Maybe it's for some of you restructuring your dam and allowing you to have more control over what's behind the dam. The realizations of what you've actually dammed up, you've kind of considered. You're reassessing your materials, you're reassessing the strength of the water in that dam so that you can compartmentalize, because you're extremely good at compartmentalizing. And that is part of what I feel deeply that you're going to have to do in this energy. So Pisces energy is the ending of the zodiac, and Aries energy is the beginning of the zodiac. Libra represents balance. It's in the middle, right? And so your ruler is emotionally flushing out old wounds. At the same time, your sun is focusing on the future. So where do you meet in the middle? How do you meet that place in the middle? It's usually in partnerships. You know, that's the 7th house, is in partnerships. It's the middle of the zodiac. And so in that comes, let's take a look at your partnerships. Where are you dammed up? Is there some sort of growth and expansion that could come out of that partnership? Family is a wonderful source. Home and family is a wonderful source for you to connect to that will allow you to find some peace and energy. And then expansion will happen, and career life path focus will happen once you have really honestly harnessed all the water energy that is flooding you with extremes and emotion. So I think the delusion is that you thought that you had everything under control and you didn't. The realization is that there is no control. And then the ending to all of that is, let's move forward, understanding mutable energy